Hello people. Every few months, let's say every 4 months, there's a point for me where I find a tool where it just takes me 1 or 2 weeks, and after those I think, oh, why have I lived without that tool? That was kind of retarded to not use that. But the problem always just is that I just didn't know the tool existed. I didn't have a good instruction, or just didn't see any demo of it. So, to combat that, especially for the close people around me, obviously those I would wish very much to only use the best tools I have discovered or they have found. I forgot the beginning of the sentence. Forget about it. I want you to use good tools. The tool I'm going to show you today is Doom Emacs for org mode. Let me first start with what is Doom Emacs. I'm a NeoVim user. I'm not into Emacs. I use Emacs for org mode, Doom Emacs, because it's vastly superior, and I just have thousands of functions that I'm going to show you in a bit. But to use org mode well, I have to use Doom Emacs. About Emacs itself, I don't know a lot. I know it's a huge thing. I know if you want to use it very well, you need to learn Emacs Lisp. And I'm just not in for that. I'm scared of falling into that rabbit hole. I'm scared that at some weekend I give it a little try. And then 2 weeks later, I have failed my degree, but I'm able to write Emacs Lisp. I don't want to get there. No. I'm sure it's a lot of fun for those who do. I'm sure I would enjoy it too. That's why I don't do it. I use Doom Emacs because I have no idea about Emacs. It does a lot of the configuration for me. It's HListener, or whatever their name is, made this thing. It says, yeah, Emacs framework, whatever that means. I guess it's just a lot of config files. Yeah, it seems nice, mainly because the plain Emacs seems horrible. It has very cool features, it does a lot, and most importantly, you can use Vim keys. All of the Vim keys, except S for substitution, that I found a bit annoying, that I just use VC, but we'll get into that in a bit. One more thing that, oh yeah, so when you want to use it, I just recommend, just clone it, install it, whatever. That's how I did it. If you are on NixOS, then good luck. NixOS is my main system. I want to use Doom Emacs there. I just can't. There are some guys who have working configs. I don't. I tried to adapt theirs, didn't work. Because if to just use Doom Emacs, I need to, a few hundred lines of config file and overlays and whatever, just to get it to work. Not in for that. Not really using org mode on Linux, sadly. One reason why I'm on macOS a lot lately. Not nice, but worth it for org mode, as you'll see. Yeah, that's one thing where I had to say that's why I'm not on Linux, because for any other reason it doesn't make sense. So, let me start with another thought before we get into actual org mode. I use org mode to write things down. A lot of things down. If I just do, what is it? Here's the, no, that is not it. Can I just do an ls? Yeah. So, there are a few things here in the directory. I have bucket list. So, I know life goals, things I want to do with the partner, such things. Household, which is just home management. So, do I have to clean the bathroom? Do I have to just do any other not administrative, just a task I have to do, for example, repetitively. Then I have life, which I'm not going to show you because I don't know, very personal file. I have main, which is live now. Old version probably just copied it. Misc is some folder, I don't know. NixOS is a series of blog posts I want to write. Refile is a file in which I put shit where I don't know where it's supposed to go, and then you refile it later. Refile means you just take a subsection and put it another place. Very easy to do. Also going to show that to you probably. And lastly, uni, which is the file we're in right now. Why do you want to write everything down? You want to write everything down that you actually have an overview of your life. If you don't, then good luck achieving things. If you have a great overview of your life, of your finances, then you just, in most cases, you just gotta follow what you write down. And then, I don't know, you just get shit done. You know where you are. It's the same with knowing well how much money is in your account. If you know there are only a few €100 left, then you may not be eager to spend it. But if you're shopping addicted or just very unresponsible with your money, then you probably don't know how much is in there. And if you check instead all the time and feel bad about every unnecessary purchase, then you probably build very good financial habits and amass some wealth over the decades. I think it's very similar with just writing things down. So, let me show you the file we have in front of us. You got a front matter, which is title, author, description. I think you need none of these. Just got into the habit of doing them. And then you have two big sections, the level 1 headings, so to say. You see they are on line 5 and 80, so they are concatenated, or how are you going to tell that? Forget about it. There are some key commands we can do to like open them. With Shift T, you change things across the whole file and open things accordingly. But what I mostly do, because when you want to do things, you pretty much know where you want to go. So you can just go there and press tab. So first big section is uni. It's things I need to do before entering, questions I have, something before the semester starts, which is next week, then things about the first semester, miscellaneous, and job things. Makes more sense this way around. Then the second thing, we have a redacted section, because that's the city I live in. Things I need to do here, for example, re-registering myself and all that. Either way, the headings are not important. What you can see, headings are nested inside each other. Everything is built hierarchically. Here it also looks pretty nice, but a heading is just stars. So the first heading has 1 star and is on the first level. This has 2 stars and is on the second level. So if I just put 1 star, it's immediately like in the same hierarchy as uni. If I put 3 stars there, then it's indented as the subpoints it should has itself. They are just, here's 1 star, here's 2 stars, here's 3 stars, and you can add as many as you want to. Although I know it's probably a good idea to not go over 6, 7, 8, because otherwise you'll just get a horribly messy file and don't understand what you need to do. What do we get here? We got a heading which has a colorful thing named wait here. It says setting up OpenVPN on NixOS. Still have to do that, but that's a to-do heading. Or yeah, generally a to-do heading, I would say. Please know, I have no idea how the actual names of any of these things are said. I have no idea. That's how it makes sense to me. That's how I remember things. Wait is a state the thing has. So another thing, for example, would be to do. To do means, yeah, obviously you know what it means. But these keywords get parsed into a thing called the agenda. And just duplicating the window to show you something in a moment. When I make a to-do here, which is called making a video for my tech friends, you don't think much of it. It's nested into some weird thing. You may not find it. But if you go to the to-do list and only show yourself the to-dos, then you see to-dos. And the second here in the file uni is making a video for my tech friends. So I think you can see a little bit the power of what that does. It just allows you to add context everywhere, but still have a central place on which you see things. But that's not one of the, I know how to put it. It's not one of the, you get the point. It's good. It's better. You have more things. For example, how do I put it? In Emacs, you do a lot of things, not like in Vim, where you press Control C, Control something. In Doom, a lot is you press Control C, press Control T. So, for example, to change the state. So when I want to change from to do to, let's say, idea, I press Control C, Control T, and then I can just press I. And that way you can very fast do things, which is very useful. And also because it's, how do I put it? I think there's as good as no keybind, which is just, for example, Control K. And when you have 2 or 3, how do you put it? 2 or 3 things you need to press before you can do something. You have, I don't know, you don't just have 26 things you can do and half of them hurt because they are on a bad position in the keyboard. Instead, you have a stochastische Explosion. You get what I mean. I have no idea how to pronounce it in English. It's just you have all the control keys, you have non-control keys. So you have, let me put that down here. You have 26 times 2, which is 52 for just every letter itself and every letter with control. And that you got like 3 times. Now you don't have it 3 times, you have it to the power of 3. So horribly inaccurate. You get my point. You don't run out of key maps if you don't want to. Yeah, that's very useful. To see how many key maps you have, you can press Meta X, which is for me on MacBook Command X. And then you see it has nearly 7,500 functions. And every single thing you press, not every single thing, a lot of the things have the blue things in brackets behind here. And those are the key commands for it. So there are a lot of space, there are a lot of ones with control. Some with meta, and what we would want to do would be, I know often I just press the things. I have no idea how the functions are named themselves. Let us just use refile. Refile is you press space MSR, so space MSR, and then you just give it another section to go under. That's just a way to find all of the commands. What I wanted to show you, yeah, I went on a horrible tangent. Please excuse me doing that. It's happens. So here we have a to-do. It doesn't have any extra info added to it. If we press Control C, Control S, it pulls up a calendar. So let me just say I want to do that at, what is it? Making video. Okay, it's 13 right now. Want to be finished by 15. And want to do that today. So a schedule thing got added. I can also hide that because mostly you don't need that. But what that means is you can go into the agenda and it tells you. It doesn't tell you. Oh, it does tell you. It tells you here in the time view. Yeah, so I know you have the full schedule of your day and some other to-dos, most of them because they are overdue. Not because I will do them today, but you get the point. And here I can also just Control CT to say, oh, I'm done, or it's still a to-do. Oh, or other weird org mode features, I can press capital I to clock in and then capital O to clock out. I don't know, I don't work or anything, so I don't need to clock in and clock out. But occasionally that has been useful for me. For example, you can obviously also make a timer. You can say, okay, it times, it's not a timer, is it? I don't know, you get the point. You can just tell org mode to, oh, here, is it that one? Set timer. Stop timer. And then set timer. Let's say we want 0 hours, 25 minutes, 0 seconds. That's a thing I did before, for example, for Pomodoro, where it's, I know, you want to work for 25 minutes, you tell Emacs that, because with Doom Emacs you can, for most things, be pretty sure that there will be a function for it. It's kind of nice. It kind of makes life a lot easier than it is normally. But I think you generally got the point for making to-dos and scheduling them. Obviously, there's not just scheduling. There's also the actual important schedule, which is a deadline. So if we have the item handing in a paper, then remember, schedule was Control C, Control S. Deadline is the same with Control C, Control D. And then I can just say, I have to hand it in on Monday. Then I look into the agenda again. And on Monday, it tells me here in bright orange, handing in a paper, because deadline is the only thing you need to care about. Well, why would you worry about a schedule? It's not even important. Kind of joking, but you get the point. That's it, what I want to show you for to-dos. One other thing is, like for example here, the wait tag. You have a lot of tags you can put there. Wait, I put on things when it's a task. Yeah, for example, setting up OpenVPN on NixOS. I need OpenVPN from the university to access all journals and papers from home. I would have to add it at some point, but when do I need that? Probably the earliest time in a year, half a year, when I want to look up random shit. It's not urgent, so it got a wait tag, because I don't need it right now. I don't need it next month. It's just, I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to delete it. It still stays here. Yeah, that's about it. Another thing you maybe see on the screen here are the links. Links are pretty easy. You can just put links here and then press Control C, Control O to open those. Yeah, makes sense. Don't need to talk more about that. You can also press Control C, Control L to, I don't know how to put it, give the link a name. So the link is already input because the cursor was over it. And you can also input the description, which is just my blog, which needs a rewrite. And then you don't have the link anymore. But all of those things are still written in plain text. It's just like concealed. So a normal link is just two opening brackets, and then link, then you close the first one, open another one and say title, and that's your link. That's how that works in org mode. What else do I got for you? Let me just open things and see what I got. Yeah, nested things. Yeah, I think that's a useful thing a lot of people can relate to. So here I got a heading for the first semester I'll have in a bit. And here I'll have one for the courses I have. So I have programming, CS, terms, linear algebra, and analysis, obviously. And for some of those I don't got the info yet because I haven't been there yet. It hasn't started. But for example, for programming, I have a section which is recommended books. And then the recommended books has a link to it where I can get it and such. Yeah, so recommended books are here. What would also make sense there is just, I know how to put it, like properties, I think describes it. And then there you can just put, I don't know, lesson. And then you can schedule the lesson. Let's say it's at 8 a.m. on Monday. Or let's not say on Monday. Let's say it was 2 days. Yeah, let's say it was 3 days ago, because then I can show you another thing. So now we clone the view, open the agenda, and you see lesson scheduled Tuesday on 8 a.m. More interesting would probably be if we put programming lesson there, because that actually says something. Where did it go? Here it did go. So you see there's some use to that. What we could also do is just put plus 1 week, because it's every week. So if we refresh again, we have a programming lesson also on the 15th. You see the point? Very useful. I think I could just put another schedule here too and say it's not just on Monday, it's also on Tuesday. And then when I open the agenda again, you have programming lessons on Monday, Tuesday, and here again on... Did I forget the... I don't know. I think only the first thing shows as scheduled, because here it says scheduled, here it doesn't. Here it just puts a time to it. You get the point. You get what you can do with it. Another thing where that is very useful is here, like for my home node. I have one section which is called food. Obviously the most important one, because if I don't care about food, I'll probably die. But here, reoccurring activities. So we got cleaning the bathroom. Yeah, that's a pretty important one. What do I have to add here else? Changing bed sheets, also a good one. And then let me not put that on Saturday, because then I would have, okay, it's a short thing, I could put it on. Now I think that's like a Friday activity. And we don't need this every week, we need this, it's the winter right now, so let's say every 3 weeks. And that way, it's just, you can totally forget about these boring things, because it tells you, clean the bathroom. In 3 weeks again, it will tell you to clean the bathroom, or change the bed sheets here. And I don't know, it just feels like automating life a good bit. If you, I don't know, if you don't need to remember things, if you don't need to do, you get my point. You got the agenda, you just look at it if you have to do stuff. Let me see where I can go from there. I don't know, I still use paper notes. So, for example, here I wrote things down that I gotta show you. that is very useful, because otherwise I have to have it all open on the screen all the time. And much more importantly, that way is just, I don't know, earlier today I had to wait for like 10 minutes, but I had notebook and pen with me, so I could just make a list of things I do for the day. And that way I have org mode and a physical notebook in parallel, because somebody's honking outside. Because that way I have the upsides of all worlds. Org mode is just, here is my life. Here's like the control center. Here's everything that I have to do, that I need to think about. And in the paper notebook, it's just, oh, I'm out on the street right now. I got a quick thought. Not going to pull out my laptop or try to like type in things on my phone. No, that's just not it. And then, I don't know, at some day at a week or so, I'll transfer the stuff from notebook to org mode. Like in general, there are also like apps for org mode. So for example, that's a file I had open about home stuff. Also gives you the notifications if something is scheduled and is active. So you could do the things on a phone. I just really dislike to do that. So I'm not. But yeah, I don't know. I like keeping it not in two places. The physical notebook is just a small subset of the things I've written down in org mode. It's just, I don't know, when I need to go shopping, when I'm starting on a day. How do I put that it makes sense? If I got like 5 things to do that day, I don't want to look in my agenda all day. I can just look in my agenda and then put it in the physical notebook. That makes more sense to me. Like, obviously you can do both. I don't. Not right now. It will probably change. But that's my current sentient to it. So yeah, one thing I could also show you is refiling. I have a refile file, but I haven't looked into that for like a week. And I'm not risking to have to change a thing about that video only because I put stuff in there that I don't want to show. Let me just do it here that way then. We make a new heading, say this needs to be refiled. Then we add some more info. Currently it's in repeating tasks, but it should be in the food section, which is Essen above. So I don't remember the key map actually, so let me just look it up. Refile is space MSR. So we press space MSR and it gives me nearly 100 sections from all my documents in which I can put it. I just write down Essen, and now it is gone and the section was put here with all of its content. And that way we could also put, here's another section, and then let's just put another section there, another section, and that way you can still say, oh, let us go back. I forgot the name. Wiederholende Aktivitäten, genau. And then we have it down here again with all of its content. So very nice that way. That way you can forget about your files, or if you just add files, if you add headings, don't know where to put them. If you're just on a go, just put them in a refile, and then at the end of the day, when you come home, just just move those 20 things to other sections where they belong. And yeah, I think that's a good note to end on. Organize your life. Will make life better. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. If you didn't enjoy the rambling, then you should really reconsider what time is worth to you and not watch 30 minutes of it. Have a nice day.